The most magical place on earth is Walt Disney World, and it's the perfect setting for the most competitive and action-packed volleyball tournament in the country, where hundreds of the world's best young players are here to claim championships. Welcome to the 43rd AAU Junior National Volleyball Championship. HP Fieldhouse at the ESPN Wide World of Sports, one of several venues hosting this 43rd AAU Girls Junior National Volleyball Championship. 12 and under competition set to take center stage, with Longwood taking on Vaqueras, the team out of Puerto Rico. And we're thrilled you could join us, everybody. Drew Felios alongside the former UCF star Aaron Campbell. Already have one championship match in the books with the 14 and under. It was OVA TBVA, and what do you know, the same club now representing in the 12 and under.
Yeah, we talk about how much they're this dominant superpower here in Orlando, and now that they've combined with this Tampa Bay volleyball club, it's just a huge overtaking of all of these girls, and they've been able to really mesh them into nice teams, good chemistry, and good communication.
Really defending the home territory here in Central Florida. Let's take a look now at the brackets and see how both of these teams got here. These matches just finishing up minutes ago. Longwood 2-1. And you got Vaqueras also 2-1. So both of these teams have been battle tested as they enter this championship.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about these two teams is that they've actually faced each other before. So they have a little bit of chemistry, and they've just rode the roller coaster to get to this point. And this is going to be a really good match for 12 and under.
Some of the names we're going to be calling. First from Longwood, team coached by Isaac Raphael. We've got some star players from top to bottom.
And Brianna Anderson is the one to watch. She's an outside hitter. She kind of plays middle as well, but she is one of the top hitters in her class in this age group. She's already getting national recognition at a 12 age group. That is unbelievable.
Wow. And for Vaqueras, this team coached by Cristobal Colon, and this team's got a very tough challenge here today.
Yeah, and while they do have a tough challenge, this team is stacked full of players. I mean, how their style from the Puerto Rican volleyball game is, it's very different than the American style. They play a lot of power shots, so it's going to be interesting to kind of see how that starts at the fundamental age. So I'm really excited to watch this team today.
Make no mistake, too, even though you got hundreds of teams and thousands of players here, you have teams that have seen each other before in a championship, and that is the case here in this 12 and under competition. What's going to be the difference in this match?
You know, what I think is going to be the biggest difference for these two teams is definitely the serve and pass game, because that's really what dictates the momentum, the tempo of the game, and that's really what these two coaches focus on going into the matches like this.
All right, it should be fun. Second of 4 today here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Great to have you with us. 12 Open Championship is coming up next.
Champion Stadium at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex has been the home of Atlanta Braves baseball since 1997. This preeminent multi-sport complex hosts athletes from over 70 countries in more than 60 sports, all in the halo of the #1 family vacation destination, Walt Disney World Resort. For more information on visiting the complex, visit espnwwos.com. The ESPN Wide World of Sports complex is one of the most exciting youth baseball complexes in America, where players of all ages compete against both national and international rivals. Athletes can hone their skills year-round through open registration tournaments and spring training programs for high school and college teams on major league quality fields, while creating memories that last a lifetime. To find out how your team can play here, visit DisneyBaseball.com.
So the scene is set for the 12 Open Championship match. Longwood, the team from Florida, representing OVA TBVA, and Vaqueras here from Puerto Rico to claim a AAU Girls Junior National Volleyball Championship. We're going best of 3 sets. First couple sets played at 25 points. That third set, if needed, we will go to 15. In our prior match with Mizuno Sports Performance and OVA TBVA, it was a clean sweep. Interesting to see where we go in this one here this afternoon. As you get a look from the ladies of Vaqueras, Puerto Rican volleyball. How does it differ from the American style?
The styles are very different because obviously American volleyball is all about power, power, power. And that's dictated by our U.S. Olympic team. That's what they focus on. And that's what they've always their reputation is. That's what they've established themselves as. Now, Puerto Rican players, they're a lot more plyometric. They jump up pretty high. They're pretty agile left and right. And their arm swing is actually a lot different. So instead of following through on every arm swing, they use a lot of their wrist to generate that topspin on the ball. What's different about these two teams, though, is that this Puerto Rican team, they actually play on a lower net. So I'm going to be really interested to see how that factor plays into these two teams competing today. Now that they're playing on a much taller net, you can see, the net's almost powering over everybody. So it'll be really interesting to watch.
And expect a very festive environment. You see the fans in the corner of your screen there make a lot of noise, as this match should be high intensity from start to finish. So it should be fun. Puerto Rico and Central Florida locking horns as we get set for the start here. Naya Molina will set it up for OVA TBVA, and we're underway. Garcia able to get it over for Vaqueras. Both of these teams similar size. Now let's see how the skill factor plays out as Brianna Anderson registers the first kill of the match.
And I had a chance to talk to Coach Isaac Raphael before the match today, and he was just talking about how, he has so much experience from almost the Olympic level. He coached in Trinidad, and then he's coaching with some collegiate teams here in Orlando. But I was just so curious to see kind of what it's like to coach 12-year-old girls, and he just says that their ability to learn and be sponges is something he's never seen before. So I'm interested to see how much they learn and how much they have kind of acquired over the course of the season.
That's Yanelis Rodriguez. You see just early on how sound fundamentally these young ladies are. And Aaron, that is so important when you're trying to excel in this sport. All the athletic skill stuff comes later on, but the core base of fundamentals has to be strong. It looks like these ladies have that.
Yeah, and that's why I think a lot of coaches and programs put some of their best coaches with the youngest girls, because they have to learn it the right way. And so the best coaches usually stick with the younger girls to help them do that.
The future of this sport certainly very bright. You're going to see why here this afternoon as Maldonado gets it over, and now OVA TBVA can't put the kill down. Good dig by Labiega. Molina, good dig back row for the American squad. Long point to start the match. That one's going to find the corner as Madison Martin was able to hammer it home.
And you can even see the flashes of the upper level style of volleyball, running the one and in-system plays when the free ball comes over the net. Granted, it's not the same tempo, but they're setting themselves up for success later on when they do those things.
Molina. Nice kill there on the left side. That was Valerio Rosado, her first point of the match.
And Rosado did a really nice job of actually making the adjustment with her shoulders. So at the last second, she turns those shoulders back to the line because she sees the block is there and makes a perfect shot toward the setter.
Three serving two here early on. Labiega puts it over. Cotto, good dig by Alanis Labiega. And a smash right through the block. Rosado, another kill for Vaqueras.
And if you see that arm swing on that, she doesn't actually swing all the way through. Watch that wrist. You see how she just flicks that wrist on top of the ball? Again, that's how they generate that top spin. And when they add the plyometrics to it, that ball will just slam on the 10-foot line. But really good swing by Rosada.
Maldonado keeps it alive. She's been active. Negron with the good set. Rosado getting a lot of chances here in the first opening points. Molina, nice kill. And again, it's Brianna Anderson, her second of the match.
And just already so aware of what's going on the court at such a young age, reading the block, seeing what they're doing, watching what the defense is shifting, how they're playing defense, they're playing perimeter. Okay, I need to attack this side, I need to go that way. Very smart.
First service error of the match, and now we've got some substitutions coming in for Vaqueras. Ivanetsi Claudio, number 12, for some defense. You look at these young ladies at only 12 years old, Aaron. At what point do some of them start to get on the map of some of these major universities? Is any time too soon nowadays?
You know, I don't think so. I think it's because they all see, every coach sees the development because of tournaments like this. You know, there's such a magnifying glass and a spotlight on them in these tournaments that they put them right on their radar as soon as they can, and then they watch it over and over again.
This was executed to perfection here.
It really was, and I love that Rosado has the confidence in her arm swing and her ball control to keep attacking that line. There is not much court on that line. She has about a 10% shot of making that, but she has great ball control with her hand and her shoulder to make that kill.
Cross court, Padilla. Now put back over by Fegley. Rosado. Well, she's really making her presence felt. And right now, OVA-TBVA eventually going to have to find an answer for number 6. Our first timeout of the match gives our coaches their first chance to talk things over.
La jugada abre, usted, la jugada se abrió. Venga, venga más cruzado para buscarla a ella. Lo que no puede fallar es esto, en que yo salga en el triple y entonces usted se me meta aquí. Así fue que empezamos el juego. Usted se mantiene, diagonal, Valeria, que tiren, para entonces nosotros arrancarla allá abajo. ¿Estamos bien? Vamos, vamos arriba.
Ella se está metiendo bien a lo negro allá.
Vamos, team.
So encouraging words from Cristobal Colon. And Aaron, our translator, not on the crew this morning.
No, but if I could make a guess, I'm sure what he was drawing out, I'm sure was their defense and what their defense is doing and what shots that each attacker has. Because they're doing such a good job of passing and setting the ball up, it's really good to recognize what the tendencies of your opponent are doing on defense.
Second try, great dig. That was Maldonado getting on the deck. Rosado hit through the block. Now the team from Florida needing a point here, trailing 7-3. There you go. That's how you get it done. It's Anderson's third kill.
And those are the kind of plays that you're wowed because she's a 12-year-old, but she's already so aware of what's going on the court, where to swing at the ball, when to stay, when to bail out. Very smart play by Anderson.
3-point set. Great range. Another point for Rosado.
And really, the net hasn't played any factor into the game so far. Everybody from this Vaqueras team is swinging really high on the ball, getting nice points of contact, and finding good seams in the court.
Now they got to deal with the serve of Rosado. Set up by Cano, put over. Not a good offensive set that time for the Longwood team. Little out of sync right now offensively. Oh, I think they get a break there. That ball likely would have sailed out. Instead, a player from Vaqueras got a hand on it.
Yeah, and as a coach, you can't be mad about that. You'd rather see them go after the ball and it be an error rather than the ball be in play and nobody go for it. So those are the kind of excusable errors that I think coaches are more willing to accept because they're an aggressive error.
I think early on you can see, though, the swingers from Vaqueras. So offensive-minded. It's going to be tough for this Longwood team to try and equalize that throughout the match because they are bringing it right now. Labiego with the kill.
And they're just swinging all over the court. So even though they swung at the cross-court shot the first time, look at her change the swing up and go down the line. Again, that's a very hard shot to make. You don't have as much court to play with. You have a high error ratio, but that's a really aggressive swing, and I love to see that these young girls are attacking that line.
Ball's going to be hit long. Another point for Vaqueras. Aaron, when you made the point about the net being lower for Vaqueras in their standard league play, would you think just a thing in Puerto Rico or an age level adjustment that they make?
Yeah, it would be both. So based on what they do there, they might just have the nets lower because of the age group. I mean, obviously they play with a different ball. They're playing with a volley light, which is a little bit lighter. So there are some different changes that you make because they're a little bit shorter and a little bit younger. So I think that might just be the style in Puerto Rico. But what that does is it helps them develop that sight. So as a hitter, when you go up to swing, you look around and you see what's going on. And if the net's lower, you kind of, it almost is like virtual reality for later on in life. So it's really cool to see that they do that.
Anderson comes up to put it over. Now Vaqueras, their offense free-flowing here in set number 1. Another point. And it's 11-6. So 5-point differential, and tell you what, they continue to substitute freely as you've got talented players coming off the bench. Rodriguez, number 9, checks in. Kill story so far dominated by Vaqueras.
And very low error. They haven't made a lot of errors at all on their swings.
Six-point advantage. It's 12-6. Timeout. OVA, TBVA, and right now Longwood head coach Isaac Raphael's got some talking to do.
Well, we're going to struggle. Right now we're doing a pretty good job serving, but our passes are all over the place, even on free balls. You're too good of a player to pass the ball to the 10-foot line. Now you've taken yourself out of the play. So we can't hit. We have to be able to attack. Just fundamentals, nothing fancy. Relax and play fundamental ball, all right? Hey, the game's gonna come to you. Take a deep breath. Let's go, come on. Come on.
And we talked a lot about that in the pregame. He said, you know, the one thing that this team focuses on the most is the passing game, and if it's not there, then we can't do anything. He said, you know, all these girls, they have a good volleyball IQ when it comes to attacking and things like that, but they have to get the pass there. And I think that because that's broken down just a little bit, they aren't really showing what they're capable of doing.
Nice kill that time by Yuliti Torres. And that breaks the string of 5 points in a row for Vaqueras.
And hits the tape, and sometimes that tape works in your favor. It's almost like a tool off the block. It slows the ball down, and the defender's not ready to catch it and make the move to it.
Vaqueras trying to answer, Labiega, and that grazes the corner. Everything right now going the way of the Puerto Ricans.
And I think the biggest difference right now is that everybody expects them to swing straight down on the ball, and that's what the defense for Longwood is looking like. They're really sucked in and really tight, and they're leaving that back perimeter of about 3 feet completely open for them to swing against, and that's really where all the balls have landed, in those deep shot corners.
Sarah Fetter exits the game for OVA TBVA. There is one note I want to make about this Longwood team. They're missing 2 of their star players, Madison Smith, number 4, and Lily Ormsby, number 15, not suiting up here today. And obviously, players that contributed to the cause here for Longwood, as you can see, that's kind of a lonely bench over on that side. Only 2 players right now standing on the sideline there.
Yeah, and all 8 play. All 8 of the girls on this team play, which is awesome to see too. They all get on the court and they all have their role.
Shot dug by Medina. Rosado gets it over. Middle of the court. Anderson's been the most effective for OVA TBVA. Rosado asking for it, and they get it to her, but it's going to go a little bit long. Be another point for the team from Florida.
And really not many errors from this Vaqueras team. They are very, very efficient. When they swing on the ball, they put it in play or they get the kill. So a rare error from this attacking team.
It's an effective timeout, that last try by Isaac Raphael. Well, AAU and ESPN Wide World of Sports always going hand in hand. We've got more volleyball coming up over the next week. Games on Saturday and Sunday. We'll bring it to you on ESPN3. Also, track and field can be seen on AAU.com on the 15th and 16th. And basketball coming up as well, July 18th and the 24th. Amateur Athletic Union. Aaron, that has meant so much to youth sports around the country in so many different sports.
Yeah, and it's a platform for kids to get noticed on a scholarship level. It's a platform for kids to get involved in sports. It's just such a great opportunity for young girls to come in and play, and young guys as well.
Meanwhile, this Longwood team on a roll. Now within 2. Until that shot right there. I'll tell you what, Rosado has brought the thunder here today.
And her timing is impeccable. A lot of times it takes players, 5, 6, 7 years of playing the sport to understand that timing. But wow, her timing is impeccable. She knows exactly how to plant her feet in order to jump as high as she can to get the best contact with her arm swing. And she does a really nice job on the outside.
Back to a 3-point margin. Right side, Cotto hits it right into the net. In championship volleyball, Aaron, it is so much a game and a match of runs. And saw OVA, TBVA, their 14-year-olds do such a good job of limiting the runs of the Mizuno squad. And I think that could be the difference in this match as well. Who can limit the runs?
Yeah, and you always want to keep your team to 2 and under on a set of runs. So if they get 3 and over, that's a tough battle to come back from. 2 is a comfortable margin. Obviously you don't want to be down at all in any match, but it's a lot easier to come back from a 2-point than it is a 3+ So that's definitely a focus for these teams.
Miss hit by Anderson. And it's 16-11. $12 and under, with the spotlight shining here on national television. Gotta love the pressure, right?
I was just thinking that, like, how are they're not playing nervous at all. I mean, it looks so natural and so fluid to them that I don't think nerves are playing into it at all. It's impressive to see how mature these girls are.
That shot's wide. Point for Longwood. Yeah, usually we see events like the Little League World Series, and some of those players, 10, 11, 12 years old. This is the same ballpark right here, and just the way these young ladies play, it doesn't look like they are flinching. They're not blinking. They're just doing their thing. It's so awesome, isn't it?
It is. It's incredible to me. I mean, they're just playing super comfortable and confident, and yeah, they're making errors. That's going to come with just experience on the court, but they're playing really tough volleyball.
Shot hit long. Another point for Vaqueras. Number 12 checks in, Claudio, and she'll head back to serve for the Puerto Ricans. Cristobal Colon, we've seen the head coach for Vaqueras. Their assistant coach is Angel Claudio. Juan Medina is the team representative. Obviously a very skilled coaching staff, and their team right now widening their lead over the team from Longwood.
And Longwood is really forcing the ball to Brianna Anderson, almost to a point where the sets aren't what she wants, and she's really trying to make up a lot of points with those swings and losing a little bit of those fundamentals. She just needs to settle down just a bit and keep swinging. She had such a great string of points there.
Now from the back row, stepping up to give it a whack was Cotto. Rosado somehow gets it over. All alone, Anderson can just tee off on it.
And look at the transition that she had. She was blocking, she passed the ball or was ready to pass the ball, took 2 steps off the net, got right back in, engaged, and went up for that swing. Very, very aggressive middle block attacking.
Brianna Anderson now with her 5th kill of the match. Nice dig by Torres, keeping it alive. Martin. Longwood can get a few points here. They can be right back in business. And there you go. take a little bit off it. Alyssa Fegley gets it done.
And that's all they need, is they need somebody else to kind of come in and sneak in some points. You know, they've relied a lot on Brianna Anderson, and I know that this team has more weapons than her. So if they can get the ball to other players, get their confidence up, they can definitely close in on this gap.
Tell you what, though, Rosado has just been tough to deal with.
And not the biggest jumper in the world, but the follow through on the wrist and the contact she makes on the ball makes it just so fast. It's hard to get underneath it, even at an older level, let alone at a 12-year-old.
She's been the difference. Torres can't put it over. That's just a little break in concentration there.
Yeah, and that's not recognizing where you are in relation to the net. You're not checking the net first. Those are things you develop in time. Drop that elbow. You always want, when you're off the net, you want to keep that elbow nice and high because you have to account for the fact that you are far off the net.
A serve. Vaqueras back on track. 4 straight points. Team from Longwood. Much needed point there. It's another kill from Anderson.
And really good composure on that, on the Longwood side. That play was completely out of system, but still good ball control. They bettered the second ball, gave Brianna Anderson an opportunity to take a nice swing on the ball.
Now from the left side. Good block, keeps it alive. Montez, number 14, very active. And there finishing is Labiega, Alanis Labiega, number 2.
And look at this arm swing. This is the epitome. See how she drops that left hand, and as she does that, she makes contact with the right, and it's all just wrist and abs, and that's how they get that fast topspin on the ball. It's almost impossible to defend. We played against a lot of them when I was in college, and it was so hard to read because their shoulders didn't dictate anything. It was all on the wrist.
Seven-point edge for Vaqueras, make it 8 as Anderson's shot goes into the net. So Cristobal Colon, gotta like what he is seeing right now, but you wouldn't know it by looking at him. You can tell he has very high expectations for his team. Torres. That was dug by Rosado, and now they'll give her a shot from the back row, and that's just too much for Laura Caro to handle. Another point for Vaqueras.
And a lot of coaches teach that when you're swinging out of the back row, go attack where the setter is, which is right back. So attack that side because the setter's typically breaking away before the ball even comes across the net, and there's a huge hole there. Great swing by Vaqueras' team and their offense.
Set point now. Anderson's gonna get another shot from the back row. That one's gonna sail long. So Vaqueras just runs away with it. Swinging their way to a 1-0 lead over the team from OVA TBVA, A6 Longwood. We'll step aside, come back with set number 2 right after this from the ESPN Wide World of Sports.
The peak of Expedition Everest can be seen from just about everywhere around Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. It calls the brave to challenge high-altitude hairpin turns and puts you face-to-face with the snarling beast who guards the mountain, the legendary Yeti. Check out the wildest ride in the wilderness. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Magic Kingdom Park has you careening through steep mountain passes and in and out of darkened caves on a runaway train that seems to have a mind of its own. So hold on to your hats as you zip around the winding track right here at the Walt Disney World Resort.
It was all Vaqueras in set number 1 here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. 1-0 over Longwood as we head to the second frame, and number 6, Valeria Rosado, has been unstoppable up to this point.
And really what she did a nice job of was checking the defense and seeing what they were playing first. They're playing perimeter, did a nice job with her hand, controlling the ball and just putting the ball where she knew she was going to get kills. They weren't all powerful, but she just tallied points for this team, and then she was great at the service line as well.
8 kills, 1 ace, and a block to go with it, filling up the stat sheet was Valeria Rosado. And you said, Aaron, checking the defense, making adjustments at only 12 years old. Are they taught that this soon?
No, and what's remarkable to me is even in those highlights, you could see her. She's looking at the block first, finding the ball, looking at the block again, and then swinging. I mean, you can tell just by her body position and where she is. It's remarkable. It really is.
Kind of like a quarterback audibling in Pop Warner football. I mean, you just don't see that very often.
No, and it's incredible to see, and she just has so much potential, and she's already such a great player. It's cool to, well, hopefully we'll be able to see her here again next year, and we'll see that development with another season under her belt. It's really remarkable to watch her play.
So the question is, can OVA TBVA come back and try and even this match up at 1 set apiece? Aaron, what does the team from Longwood, Florida have to do to get back in it?
It's passing and unforced errors. So while, yeah, they're young, there still are some unexcusable plays where you're free balling the ball into the net, or free balling the ball out of bounds. If you notice, Vaqueras didn't do that at all. They were very controlled. They've always made sure to put the ball in play. So if you're this Longwood team, you have to pass the ball well and control the things you can. Put the ball in play at all times.
Negron, first serve for Vaqueras, put over by Torres. Rodriguez gets a good shot on it as Anderson keeps it alive. Brianna Anderson leading the team from Florida in the first set, as that will drop. And they're going to award this point to Vaqueras. A little bit of confusion there by our officials as well.
And all the girls on the Longwood team thought the ball was out, but it landed in. Those are sneaky because sometimes you lose it in the lights, you don't know where you are, and it just lands right on that line, and you just assume it goes out. That's happened to all of us at one point or another in our volleyball careers.
Martin plays it off the net. Now she'll get a chance to swing at it, and that's a good kill. Maldonado, good save attempt as well for Vaqueras, but it's point Longwood.
And really, I think that this OVA TBVA Longwood team should adopt the same mentality or same playbook that Vaqueras did in the first set, which is swinging deep on the ball. Doesn't have to land on the 10-foot line, doesn't need to be a roll shot. Just swing into those deep corners on the court, and you're going to score a lot of points.
That's 2 straight points as Maldonado can't dig it again. And Naya Molina goes back to serve for the Americans. And this is the first lead, I believe, that they've had this entire match. They're going to try and hang on to it here. Back row Anderson, another point. So now Longwood getting into a bit of a groove. I think a lot of it too is confidence. At this level, this age group, sometimes, Aaron, you can't really get too technical. It's just about believing you can win, right?
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. And I think it's developing these girls into the players that they're going to become and giving them positive, constructive feedback, because this is when they are the most willing to accept that information, because they really don't have a lot of platform for it yet. So anytime that they can get feedback, it's really important to help develop them for later on.
Isaac Raphael, a coach that you're very familiar with, had a chance to chat with him before the match, one of the great coaches here in the state of Florida.
Yeah, and he's just such a good guy. You know, he comes up to you, gives you a big bear hug, you just love it. But he has such a great attitude, especially when it comes to these young girls. You know, I asked him, quite frankly, what is the challenge with a 12-year-old? I've never coached a 12-year-old team. He's like, well, the challenge is they're 12 years old, but you still have a good time with them, and they still want to learn, and they still want to play volleyball. And it's just, that's the mentality you want your coach to have when they're at this age. So it's just really cool to see, and how well he fits in with his team it's really unique.
Alana Slaviega heads back to serve. All tied at 3. That one's going to go just long. I got to ask you, Aaron, because you're a technician of this sport, if you were coaching would you rather coach the youngsters, the 12, 13, 14s, or would you rather coach college ladies? Which level would you prefer?
You know, out of the actually those are the two age groups I would like to coach. You know, because the 12-year-olds, they are just fun and they're so willing to accept everything you give them, and then in college, it's the same kind of mentality. Like, you kind of revert back to that, which is really interesting. The age groups in between are a little bit challenging. A little bit challenging. But of the two, I would say, you know, the 12-year-olds, because they just bring out the youth in you, you know, and they make you have a good time. So I'd probably pick them.
Vaqueras, another point. That's Rosado once again. 5-4. Rosado's going to be one heck of a player.
And really the timing is what I can't get over. I mean, she just understands how her feet get her to the ball, when she needs to push her arms back to get that good attacking position. It's just really incredible to see. She has so much volleyball IQ already.
That ball deflected. That went off the hands of Montez, and then it's kind of ricocheted from there, and it's another point for Longwood.
And that was a point we would see them error on in the first set. They've actually changed that a little bit more in the second set. They're getting a little bit more confident on the swings they're taking and avoiding those errors so far.
Nice block. That was Rosado going up to get it.
So a lot of times you don't see that left front attacker coming in on the back row attack. But because of where the set was, really good position, good 2 steps inside by Rosado to recognize where the attack was coming from and get just a little bit of that forearm on the ball.
Hit it just in. It looked like the smash from Anderson was going to go wide, but they did say it grazed the line. So volleyball, as big as this tournament is, just one of many sports going on right now here at the complex. Also got baseball players, lacrosse players walking around. It is jumping here during the summer. Another point by Rosado. Well, as we're entering the park here this morning, Aaron, it's amazing that you think it's volleyball. You also see baseball, you see softball. Just a festive atmosphere here at the complex. As that ball is going to tail out, it'll be another point on the ace serve by Rosado.
And Rosado just has this confidence that I don't think I've ever seen even at the upper levels. She just understands that her skill level is going to bail her out in a lot of situations. And she is very fearless when she puts her hand on the ball, even on the service line. Yeah, that's an error, but it's not going to affect her in the passing game. It's like one and done, and I really like that about her. She's not a very big mental player, and especially at this age, it's very cool to see.
Anderson will serve it now. 1 point lead for Longwood. That ball hits the top of the net, finds a spot as Padilla is credited with the kill. Second of 4 matches here on center court. I'm Drew Felios alongside Aaron Campbell, the former UCF star. You're watching Vaqueras, the team on the left side of your screen. There's their fan contingent representing. Taking on OVA TBVA, the powerhouse here in the state of Florida. They're 12-year-olds here in the 12 Open Championship. And right now, Vaqueras finding that lightning in a bottle once again with the serve.
And that ball is barely scathing right over the top of that net. And it's really hard for this OVA TBVA Longwood team to make any adjustment with their feet, because that ball is just dropping right at their knees. And it's so hard to get beneath the ball on serve receive sometimes. So really tough serving by Vaqueras.
Why it's happening now? Because everyone's being tentative and we're being afraid to go for balls. Being aggressive is not just in your attack. In your entire play right now, be aggressive. You're transitioning, be aggressive. You're playing defense, be aggressive. Everything you do right now is an emergency. This is a championship match. This is it.
The ball cannot hit the ground.
Ball can't hit the ground. We got to go after everything.
For every ball. Come
That's
on.
Here we go. Come on, here we go.
And I love how he talks about, yeah, everybody thinks that being aggressive is just on these big, powerful swings, but it's also in every intentional move that you make. Move your feet to get to the ball. Don't just move your feet for nothing. Be aggressive in how you approach the ball. Go attack it, and that way you're going to get to it a lot quicker.
2-point advantage for Vaqueras. Longwood has played neck and neck with the Puerto Rican team. They don't want to let it get away here as Torres cannot keep it in. And that lead now increased to 3. Critical point in the match right now, Aaron.
Absolutely. And especially after a timeout that you had called, you really want to get zeroed in on that pass. You really want to be able to move your feet and get the ball back so you don't continue to break away from those points or from the lead.
Montez still serving. Anderson with the dig. Molina, nice tap.
Really great vision to see that the left front blocker actually came in to block on that ball, which is a little bit out of character, and leaving that big zone in the 4 zone wide open for a tip.
Joust won by Molina. Now from the back row, it's Rosado once again. Anderson's going to get a crack at it. Vaqueras a little bit stagnant offensively. See if they can put something together here. It's Labiega. A little bit of confusion there, and that's just a communication issue.
Yeah, and that was one of the best rallies we've seen from this Longwood team. It seemed like, okay, finally we're getting our defense down, we're making the right moves, and it's little things like that. All it takes is one person saying, hey, I've got this. And that should, you know, I think that should be the libero. The libero controls the back of the court. They are the captain of the back row. So the libero has to step in and take that ball.
Anderson now playing in the back row. She somehow gets it over. You know, we've seen Anderson as the top hitter for this OVAT BVA team. A lot of times, Aaron, they'll substitute that big imposing force out to put a better defender in on the back row. They haven't done that, though, this entire match.
No, and I know it's because of Coach Isaac, because he wants these players to be completely well-rounded. He doesn't want them to just be a one-dimensional player, whether they're comfortable in the back row or not. He wants them to be able to play that, and they can be more attractive to coaches later on.
Point Longwood, they've pulled to within 1. Madison, Martin, and company will now try and tie this match. Barely grazes the line, and we're tied at 12.
And it's amazing how much serving can make up for unforced errors. Just by being good at the service line, little things go your way. Those points that you might have freeballed into the net, you get a lot of that made up by tough serving. So if they just go back to the service line and keep pushing the ball over the net aggressively, they're going to be fine.
Now momentum on Longwood's side. Big swing. Torres with the point.
And a really good swing. Going up there, seeing where the block is, changing the direction of the ball at the last second, seeing that the block is late and just using it. That is the perfect shot in volleyball. Using the block, no one can defend it.
Good take by Medina. Longwood starting to tighten up defensively. Anderson. Vaqueras a little bit on their heels right now. Torres, another good swing and another point for Longwood. Timeout, Vaqueras.
And what a threat to have in the front row when you have Brianna Anderson in the back row. Having somebody like this come up to the front row and just swinging very confidently on the ball. You know, what this game kind of shows you is that there's a domino effect on either the bad and the good side. So as soon as one thing goes your way, another thing's going to happen. You get more confident, and that confidence grows. And it's the same thing on the reverse side. A lot of times the ball, if something's going against you, it kind of dominoes down. One person loses confidence and the next person does, and it's amazing to kind of see how that ride is. And this game kind of puts a magnifying glass on it.
HP Fieldhouse right now is buzzing. Every fan in the arena is into this match. 12 Open Championship. Longwood, Florida, giving Vaqueras right now all they can handle. You can just sense, too, they're gaining confidence as this match has gone along. It did not look good in the first set, but it's been a much different story in the second frame. Nice kill that time, and that one's not coming back as Labiega let it really smash.
And the set's a little bit inside, but look at the adjustment with the feet. She reaches over. That is a really tough shot to make. That sharp cross court, the block's right in your face. It has to be a perfect hand contact to make it that sharp.
15-13. At the net, Longwood winning a lot of those battles now that weren't going their way early on.
And you know what name we haven't called a lot in this second set is Rosado. They've been able to slow her down a little bit, and they've picked up their own offense in response to it.
Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. I think that's the case here. Ace serve, 17-13. So Molina makes the nice play, and oh, that was right on the line.
Yeah, I bet you could you can't do that twice. That is a lucky shot.
There's Rosado, and Longwood cannot keep it off the floor.
But now Rosado's in the front row. There still is a lead on the Longwood side, so you still have a little bit of a cushion, but it has to be made up for in this Longwood offense. And if you're Vaqueras, the best thing you can do is move Rosado around, have her run the 32, have her run a really fast tempo set because she's quick enough to do it, have her run a nice high 4, maybe even have her come around and hit a 2 out of the middle. Just keep mixing it up.
And a point for Longwood. What happened that time? It looked like the whistle blew before she even served the ball up.
So typically what will happen is it's an out of rotation. So a player either left too early, they crossed too early, or she had a foot fault maybe.
Yeah, the point was certainly decided before the ball left her hands. Back to live action now. 18-14. Anderson off the fingertips. Labiega keeps it alive, and now Rosado to finish. Good dig back row by Torres. Nice point. That was Rosado. Not how she usually registers points, but she found a way to get it done.
Hey, and sometimes that's all you have to do. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to hit the floor. It ricochets off some blockers' hands, but it changes the speed of the ball, and nobody's expecting that, and that's why that shot is so effective.
Three-point set. Longwood trying to force a deciding third. Anderson. She is getting it going once more.
And I think having the team around Anderson kind of be built up and more confident, it's helping kind of balloon hers as well. She's going up there swinging a lot more aggressively than we saw in the first few swings she took in this second set, and even the last few that she took in the first.
Keeping it alive is Maldonado. Now back row, Labiega. Molina puts it over. Longwood team battling without two of their star players here this afternoon, trying to fight through it. Anderson taps it over. Oh, great dig, but it will be a point for Longwood.
And I love to see the aggressiveness of the libero coming in and trying to make some kind of play out of it, but it just barely, she didn't have her feet set and tried to catch it with her hands, tried to do anything to keep it alive. A lot of players would just let that go over their head. I love to see the aggressiveness on that defense.
Gotta love the effort. Hey, it's trivia time here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports AAU Girls Junior National Volleyball Championships. And our question today is for you, Aaron Campbell. In what year did the AAU join forces with Walt Disney World and relocate headquarters to right here in Orlando, Florida? What year was it? 1971, 1989, 96, or 2001? Four choices there. Give it your best shot, Aaron.
I'm gonna guess D, 2001.
2001. Let's see.
Oh,
No,
that was my second guess.
1996.
The right answer is always my second guess. That's my bail out of that.
It has been a tremendous partnership, AAU and Walt Disney World, and this event, the AAU Girls Junior National Volleyball Championships, as good as it gets. Anderson, hammer time.
I think everyone on our team is just as shocked as we are. Oh my gosh, that swing was incredible. Gets on top of it, bounced on the 10-foot line. Remarkable volleyball.
There have been some bleak moments in this match for this Longwood team, but through it all, Brianna Anderson just kept on playing, and her team now is 4 points away from forcing a deciding third set. Vaqueras does get one, and it's 21-16. Anderson right side. The block is there.
And that's one of those plays where everybody in the gym knows where the ball is going. Everybody knows it's going to go to Brianna Anderson. She just had a huge kill in the front row. But now they have to push the ball somewhere else. Look at where all the defense is. They're all sucked to that side. They need to push it to the opposite side and throw that defense off.
Somehow that ball finds a spot on the other side. So 3 straight points for Vaqueras. And it's 21-18. Timeout, Longwood, and a time for Isaac Raphael to settle his ladies down.
Not standing up, okay? Everybody ready?
One
right.
point only. Come on, fight.
Don't let your set drift out too far. Okay? Who's in the front row with you right now?
If you
So, Anaya, okay?
you have all the blood over you, keep over.
And be smart, you can use Naya as well. Right? There you go.
Well, you see
Naya.
the assistant coach, Cynthia Ortega there, Genesis Vieto as well. The assistant coaches there, and especially in the sport of volleyball, how valuable are they in helping the head coach?
Well, they're really valuable because a lot of times the head coach just focuses on specific things. So a lot of times head coaches are offensive-minded and defensive-minded, where assistant coaches can be more position-specific. So middle attack, liberos, they have more of that kind of mindset going into it, and they really add such a great dimension to the head coach experience.
Saw the service there by Vaqueras. And now 2 in a row for Longwood. Boy, that is not where you want to play the volleyball. You don't want to play it with your face.
No, not at all. And that's what happens on those float serves. It's like a changeup in baseball. It can change directions on you at any time. You run up to it, and at the last second, it just hangs in the air and just changes direction completely.
23-18. Vaqueras scrambling defensively. Nice dig by Torres, somehow able to keep it alive. Anderson, the big swing. Anderson, back row with the dig. Playing every position today. And that one's not coming back. That was Rosado who got enough of it to score.
Great block by Fegley, slowed the ball down, almost created like a free ball opportunity. Just by getting that touch, it slowed the ball down, but it changed direction too fast on her teammates, and they weren't able to make the adjustment with their feet. But I like that they're aggressive in blocking that back row attack.
Right down. And that was an easy point, uncontested for Vaqueras. It's now 23-20.
And sometimes you need just a little bit of help from the volleyball gods and let that ball fall. Even though it barely touched, it hit the tape, might have bounced back on your side, could have bounced on the other side. Sometimes this game's about luck.
Anderson couldn't get it over that time. They're going to say it's a point. Vaqueras on the illegal touch for Longwood. So now it's going to get really interesting. Can Longwood figure out a way to pull this out? Coach Isaac Raphael pacing right now. Big point. Blocked again.
And those are those teachable moments. Yes, it's defeating, and yes, it stinks because you're hitting the ball into the block again. But look, she never even looked at the block to see where it was. There's 3 people in front of her. She's hitting the same zone every time. Of course, the defense is going to go in and block the ball.
Huge service error. It's going to make it set point. Obviously, Aaron, this is a different Longwood team when Anderson is in the back row. Will they continue to try and serve her or set her?
You know, I don't think so. I think they should go their front row. They've had a good success with their front row.
And the ace serve has been pretty kind to them as well. It looked for a moment like Longwood had lost their offensive spunk, but they find a way to force a set number 3. We're headed to that 3rd decisive set when we come back. Should be fun. Longwood and Vaqueras to settle the 12 Open Championship.
The ESPN Wide World of Sports complex on the Walt Disney World campus in Florida holds a number of the nation's top cheer and dance competitions every year, including varsity, whose national cheer and dance competitions hosts up to 300 teams annually. Get your squad the recognition and title it deserves. Visit ESPNWWOS.com today for more information. Disney Field Hockey Showcase is the premier event for the nation's fastest-growing sport. With over 100 college coaches in attendance, female high school athletes can contend for scholarships on the national stage. To find out how your team can compete here, visit DisneyFieldHockey.com.
Second set was a completely different story here in the 12 Open Championship. Drew Felios and Aaron Campbell. Somehow Longwood found a way to get it done. One of the main reasons, Brianna Anderson.
And really, Brianna Anderson had a phenomenal first set. She had a lot of really good swings, a lot of really good looks out of the middle, out of the outside, was really on fire. But as her team lost confidence, I think she did a little bit as well. And into the second set, wasn't as effective to start, but toward the end of it, just lit on fire again. And you can see that one play she had, that ball almost bounced and hit the rafters. Just so much power behind the ball. And I like to see that she got that confidence back in swinging aggressively.
Well, you can see the swag right now for the team from Florida, playing right here in their own backyard. You know, it's got to be a little bit of a home court advantage, although the ladies don't play here day in and day out. Still, a lot of home cooking. These girls are sleeping in their own beds. You know, they got to have a little advantage coming out here to play a championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And this isn't a venue that they're unfamiliar with. You know, that they've seen their elders play here, and they've kind of aspired to be that. And it's really cool that they get this opportunity to be already at 12 years old on TV with the bright lights for a national championship. I mean, it just builds so much character.
Second of 4 games. This is coming up a little bit later. Vaqueras and Longwood, same 2 programs, facing off for a 13 Open Championship. And here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. So we got volleyball all day long. Also going to be live here on Saturday and Sunday as well. If you get a moment, you're in the area, come down, check out what is considered the largest and most prestigious AAU volleyball championship or volleyball competition of any league in the country.
And one thing to keep in mind, this third set, it's approached completely differently. From the first 2 sets, they're more of a marathon. This is a sprint. The first team to 8 and the team that makes 3 or less errors will win. So it's a very, very strategic match. You have to do things a little bit differently than you did in the first 2.
First kill attempt sent back. Torres able to keep it alive. Andrea Maldonado has played well for Vaqueras defensively. Ferrer, the nice set. Passing right now very crisp for Longwood.
And both teams are doing a really nice job of those out-of-system plays where they have to free ball the ball over to their opponent. They're putting the opponent in a position where they're not getting a free ball opportunity. They're hitting it at the setter, making somebody else come in and take the second ball, and it's kind of restricting the opportunities on offense that they have.
Andrea Maldonado heads back to serve. Big shot by Anderson. She has owned it today for Longwood. Molina with the set. Anderson nearly ran into the net. Good job holding back. From the back row. Nice block, and I believe that was Rosado getting up and sending it home.
And that's the 4th or 5th time that's happened to this Longwood team. So some adjustment on the offensive side of the ball has to be made so they don't keep hitting into the block. But kudos to this Vaqueras block for always being there and being disciplined and not letting that ball through.
Back row again. Dug up nicely. Rosado's going to get another chance, but the help was coming, and it was there for Longwood. Clearly, the adjustments being made here.
And because the ball was out of system, it allowed the middle to just cheat over to that outside pin player right away. And I think when you have Rosado in the front row, you want to put as many hands in her face as you can when she's swinging.
Madison Martin will serve, all tied at 3, playing to 15, third set for a 12 Open Championship. Yes, these young ladies are only 12 years old and under. Times at this match, it looks like we're watching 15-year-olds. Anderson is blocked. Nice job by Padilla and Rosado combining.
And I think really it's kind of the battle of Rosado and Anderson right now. Everybody in the gym knows that's a triple block at 12 years old. It's a triple block. Knowing that the best hitter on the other side is probably going to get the ball in tough situations, putting 3 people on her to keep that ball from coming over the net.
I hear so much. Take a look at Rosado again. Offense wins games. Defense wins championship. Would you agree that's the case in volleyball?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because swings like that, they get you 1 point, but good defense can hang you in a rally, and that is a momentum changer. Back row.
Good looking shot, but just tailed off to the left. It'll be a point for Longwood. So 5-4 is Coach Raphael making substitutions. Another point for Vaqueras. They are in a groove here in this third set.
And I love that they pulled Rosado to that right side. We haven't seen her attack from this side at all really during this match. So having that change of perception on the defense and allowing her just a little bit of more court to work with, that's a great call.
13th kill for Rosado in a best 2 of 3 volleyball match. That is pretty impressive as La Viega comes through for the Puerto Rican team, and we've got a timeout on the court.
And even the libero knows she's way too far inside. She's hiding behind the blocker's hand. The blocker's set up perfectly. You have to be able to see the attacker on the outside of the blocker's hand. If you can't...
Está bien. Escuchen, hey.
The same thing on this side. You have to see. I'd rather you be too much in than too much out the 10th line than too far into the court. We've got to play defense from outside to inside. They cannot beat us in the same ball over and over, okay?
And Coach Raphael kind of continued my thought there. He said this exact same thing. You have to stay outside of the block be able to see your hitter. That way, if the ball comes inside, you can make the move. But if the ball beats you on the outside of the block, you can't see it where it's going. So you have to make kind of a last-second reaction like she did on that last play.
So Rosado's serve. Dug by Ferrer. Now trying to turn her into a defensive player. She keeps it alive. Boy, that's a big-time play. Anderson goes soft with it, and it finds the bottom of the court.
And it's so smart. It's so smart. She hasn't done that really at all throughout this match unless she's needed to. In that situation, she didn't need to. She wanted to, and she found the hole. Great kill.
9th kill for Anderson. Look at her get on the deck with the dig. But that one's going to be beyond the tape.
So this is a critical point in the third set. The first team to 8, when you make the switch, you always want to be the team that dictates that. And if you're not, obviously there's still room to catch up. But because this match ends so quickly, the set ends so quickly, it's going to sneak up on you.
Boy, not just the team shifting sides, but the fans shifting sides as well. You get a look at the contingent from Vaqueras. They go from one side to the other. Make sure that you're on the side of the team that you're cheering on. This arena shifting right now. And we play on. Oh, nice point. Kill by number 2, Alanis Labiega, and she has been like the second option all day long to Rosado.
And really good swing by Labiega on that line shot. The setter came up too far, middle back didn't rotate over, left that zone wide open.
Longwood scrambling just a bit and coming apart at the seams. 10-5.
And this is kind of what we saw in that first set. The lack of communication, the nerves, I think, did play a part into it. We just have to get back and be fundamental, get the good pass, set your offense up for some good options, and put the ball away.
Vaqueras fans on their feet. A 10-5 lead here in set number 3. Longwood fans trying to will their team back into this match, but it is going to be tough. Longwood has overcome the odds up to this point. Can they do it once more? Drew Felios and Aaron Campbell here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports 12 Open Championships. 43rd Annual AAU Junior National Volleyball Championship. Anderson, not where she wants the ball. Rosado from the back row as well. Torres. Now Labiega, and another point for Alanis Labiega. She has taken over the match here in the third.
And really done such a good job of mixing up her shots. We saw her have one punch down the line. Mixes that shot up, keeps the defense guessing. That deep court 5-seam shot, almost to the back corner, is so tough.
So Longwood with a steep hill to climb. Right now, if you're Longwood, you got to score 9 before they get 4. That is not easy to do.
And plays like that are not going to get you there. You have to really zero in and play defense. When you have the ball and you're coming back from, when you need to make up a deficit, you have to zero in and focus on defense. Defense is the only way you're going to make contact with that ball. You can't let little roll shots like that fall over.
Well done. Is it too little, too late? Torres gets the point.
And really good setting choice. Yeah, it looked like she didn't have any options there, but it was actually a really good call. Everybody was crunched in on that one side of the net. She pushes it over, leaves her hitter one-on-one. That is perfect setting.
Scrambling is Vaqueras. It's another ace. 12-8. So Molina's going to try and keep this rally going. If you are Longwood right now, Aaron, desperation time. What are you hoping for? What do you do here to try and stage off elimination?
Keep the ball in play at all times. You want the rally to last as long as possible. Pick your shots when they come. And the longer the rally goes, the more opportunity you have to find holes in the court.
Vaqueras not going to let that happen. Now 2 points away from taking the match in the championship.
You got Rosado back in the front row, so I don't know if it's any secret, but I think they're going to go to her when the ball comes over the net. So it has to be good defense by Longwood or get a first ball kill here to avoid that.
Hitting through the block is Torres. Longwood right now trading points with Vaqueras. Torres to serve. Ace.
And I don't know why the Vaqueras team was so sucked in on that defense. Maybe they thought she was going to serve short, but that is a great call by this Longwood team, serving it really deep on that line, getting that ace.
Just keep on fighting. You never know what is going to happen, okay? Play with heart right here.
Who's going to play middle?
She's playing middle, okay?
Outside.
But be aggressive. You guys stay aggressive. Go after everything. You got it? Ready? Here we go. Come on.
His team trailing 13-10, hoping for a miracle here against a Vaqueras team that is the class of this tournament. Tied at 1 set apiece. These next few points will decide a champion. Big time point for Vaqueras, and now it's match point.
And really smart play by Rosado, putting that ball middle. If you're Longwood, you have to control that ball. They're giving you what you want. You have to make the play out of it. But really smart play by Rosado, putting it nice and high, middle, kind of causing that confusion.
Andrea Maldonado to serve. At the net, Longwood keeps it alive. Maldonado gets it over. See if they can set up Anderson. Instead, they go back row. And Vaqueras celebrating a 12 Open championship here at AAU Junior Nationals. Well, this match had lots of highs and lows for both teams, but in the end, for Vaqueras, it was making the adjustments and getting the critical points, Aaron, when they mattered most.
And really bouncing back from losing that second set. They had such a definitive win in the first set. They might have come into the second set a little bit too confident, but they didn't let that deter from their focus going into the third set. And their passing and their attacking is what helped them propel to the win today.
Welcome back into our ESPN Wide World of Sports studio. Drew Felios alongside Aaron Campbell. You just watched Vaqueras win a 12 Open championship. And Aaron, we just seen fabulous volleyball all day long. They win the title, but this Longwood team, got to hand it to them. They did not look good in the first set. They recovered and nearly won the title.
Yeah, and speaking of resilience, this team was so resilient. They dropped such a big lead in that first set. They didn't stop fighting, and in the second set, it was a completely different team. They didn't give up. They got their offense going, and it was other people other than their star player, Brianna Anderson, that really helped propel them into that third set. And it was just Vaqueras who came through with their offense to win in the end.
Yeah, the Vaqueras players that really stood out. I got to talk about Valerio Rosado. In the first set, she dominated, and then in the last set, she really came through as well.
And Rosado just has this really nice arm swing, and what she does well is she's mixing up where she's putting the ball. She's hitting high, she's hitting deep, she's hitting sharp cross court, she's hitting down the line. So defenses can't pick up tendencies on her, and that's a really tough player to play against. And plus, she's just tough all around. And then you have her counterpart, Labiega, who was such a good balance for her when she went into the back row. She scored a lot of points and help kind of keep that separation between them and Longwood.
2 matches coming up later on, 3:30. We got the 13 Open Championship. These exact same clubs going at it, just 1 year older. Should be fun. And then 15 Open title game at 5:30 later on today. 2 matches in the books, 2 more to go. Vaqueras, 12 Open champions here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. For Aaron Campbell and our entire crew, I'm Drew Felios. We'll see ya in just a bit.